Let's end with this one. What's the best pieces of advice you've received by quotes or conversation or whatever?
I'm gonna. You know what? Actually, I would have said the routes that I keep talking about, but the one that you said about the great minds, the one that has stuck with me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And I honestly, I think about that.
Minds talk about people.
Yeah, as soon as I get a thought, I categorize it. I go, okay, is that an idea, a person, or an event, or a person? And I'm like, oh, that just kind of allows me to assess the quality of my thought, which is cool. It's kind of like if I want a quality life, I have to have quality thoughts. So like, well, how can I assess the quality? I'm like, oh, that's perfect. That's saying that quote, which is great minds think about ideas, average minds think about events, and small minds think about people. It's like, that's so perfect because that's really all I think about: ideas, events, and people. So I can just kind of regulate my thought that way.
That's interesting. I'll do that from time to time because there's certain groups, text conversations that I have, and I'm like, yeah, the subject matter is just like what it is, right? I'm like,
yeah, just okay, yeah,
you're dumb it down, like have fun. This one is like more stimulating thought, or this one is like, oh, I gotta think about that answer before. Yeah,
awesome.
There's judgment about the person.
How you respond? Yes, yes. That's so like, but I attribute that to mindfulness, like your mindfulness. So, okay, you know, the subject matter is subject matter, whatever, and people are where they are. Okay,
yeah.
And then I always think, okay, well, that's how I got to respond. What it is.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh my god, that is a great question. Okay, what's yours?
Okay, so I've got two of them. One was just volunteered to me. Super nice guy. I used to work at a fitness club. I don't know how we got in the conversation, but he's like, do you know what the importance in life is? Like, what's important in life? And I'm like, okay, cool, tell me. I mean, I don't know what we were talking about. And he looked at me with a very serious face, very passionate, and his delivery was great. And it's what you make important. And that always stuck to me because I'm like, what's he going to say? Is he going to say it's important to make money? Is it important to get a good job? Is it important to stay on the right path and keep your nose clean? And he's like, it's what you make important. What's most important in your life is what you put value to. And that stuck with me for a long time.
Wow. That is good.
Right? As time went on, it was like, okay, what did he mean? Because what's important to you changes from time to time.
That's right.
Right. But what I got from that is it doesn't have to be one particular thing.
That gives you that freedom.
Right.
Yeah. And it also kind of accommodates for the individual that changes. Because you're not the same person you were at 18, at 20, at 30. Like life changes, right? And you change with life. And so naturally what's important will change if you are changing with the times, right?
Yeah, because you grow, you change, your likes change, your environment changes. So that was pretty profound, and it was unsolicited, and it made me think. I thought about that today because I was thinking of stuff to discuss for the podcast, and I said sometimes unsolicited advice, received or given, because it's like he just offered it. I can't remember what we were talking about. But I'm like, I'm so happy he shared that because it stuck with me for probably 15 years. I still remember it to this day.
Wow.
And how he delivered and how he said it to me. So it was important for him to share it with someone that day. And I'm glad it was me. And it was really sound advice. So I thought that was cool. And it's it's something I share in story and similar advice as well. It's if I'm talking to someone about something going on in their life or whatever, or they come to a crossroads where they got to make a pretty big decision with all the complexities that they might think of. I'm like, well, but it all boils down to like what's important to you and what's aligned. This decision has to be aligned with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Very good. Really
and I was talking, this is a coworker was talking about her relationship with her husband, and they're opposite, and he's analytical and she's like entertainment and very demonstrative and funny about acting, and her husband's very practical and reserved and introverted, but it works. And this is the best relationship advice I ever received, and I do think it's true, is irrespective of how well you get along, how well your chemistry and how well you gel, if you don't have the same future outlook and goals, relationships got nowhere to go. You can argue every single day, but if you're headed in the same direction, you will be committed to making it work.
Wow.
And that I was like, wow. So you can be exactly like, you can be completely opposite. Your circumstances could be dreamy, or they could be totally forced upon you, or whatever. But if you come to a common understanding and about where your future lies, because what's relationship with the same direction in the future? So when I'm talking to someone about relationship advice, it always comes back to that. And I'm here all along before I even say it. They'll be like, "Oh, he does this and she does this, and I don't like that." And I'm like, "We're still together." And look, man, if you're not ready to make the commitment, she's ready to make the commitment, but you're still together. Like, what's the problem there, right?
Well, hold up.
You're not. It's because you don't see the same endpoint or direction, right? And
this is the advice that you gave.
No, I started giving after
You started after you received. Okay.
So yeah, it's, I guess in other words, like, yeah, it was advice received that stuck with me, and I would share along the way ever since then. And both around similar times in my life, maybe 25 and then 30. 25 when I heard, well, even earlier than 20. Oh no, 25, maybe 26 when I heard life is what you make it, in terms of what's important. And then around maybe 28, 29 when I heard, yeah, your relationship, the quality of your relationship is dependent on the direction. If the two people are going in the same direction, doesn't matter the other factors. I'm like, wow.
Nice. Now, I'm going to ask an interesting question here. Okay, because we were going to end on that, so just, okay, what advice would you give to your 25-year-old self?
Oh, I hear this. Okay, that's good. I wrote this one down too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Well, because it was just like another one of the thoughts that best advice. I wrote a couple of them down. I was watching a video by Sylvester Stallone. He did an AMA. And man, he was so cool. 73 years old, that guy. 72. Wow. Crazy. Amazing shape. So much vitality.
Yeah.
So much, like, he still wants to work. Still putting projects together. And you could tell
Expendables 5
stories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the same question was asked, or something like, what would you do different? And even Sylvester Stallone said this. Are you ready? Dream bigger.
Ooh, are you kidding me?
It's like, I would have done it bigger, sooner. I would have not put limitations on Sylvester Stallone, the writer of Rocky.
Wow.
Multi-millionaire, international box office movie.
Good for him. Wow.
Beautiful family.
that kind of thing punches you in the face. That's something like,
Yeah.
you said that? Like, and then for me, immediately, I'm like, am I playing too small?
We're all playing too small. So yeah, that's the advice I'd give myself. Is it's in you to succeed. And I say this, we talk about investing all the time. What's your number one investment? It's yourself. And if you don't do it, it's because you don't believe in yourself. And I feel like at times I've had more confidence back then than I do now.
Yeah. Just being naive about how things are and just going, yeah, I can do it.
Which is a beautiful thing. The fuel that gets you. But even then, it's like, if you knew what you knew now, like if back then what you know now, it's like you could couple up that confidence with almost a certainty that you're going to do what you're set out to do, then you do it bigger. So if you believe in the methods, you believe in yourself that you're going to do it, would you do more of it or would you do it on a bigger scale? So, and that's what I'm trying to give it advice to myself now.
And now, forget 25-year-old me.
Yes.
Me now.
And this year in particular has been a combination of being restricted because of the pandemic, and I think the coming of age, 40 years as a landmark. And I feel like maybe myself when I was 23, 24, 25, when I had a seminal moment where I took basically a year off of work and just self-educated myself in self-help and investing and all that kind of thing, and basically shaped the direction and who I am today. So that Amazing. It was back to the question, moments that gave you confidence.
Amazing.
You talked about Cashflow Quadrant. That was one of the books that changed my life.
Great book.
Right, about, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cashflow Quadrant.
Robert Kiyosaki,
yes. Which is interesting because I watch him in interviews now and I'm like, whoa. A little, but he's always been ahead of his time. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So my advice would be, you're gonna do it. Like, you're confident now, but just add to that knowing that you cannot not succeed.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And dream big, think big, and be unreasonable about your goals. Like, go for it. Be unreasonable. Don't talk yourself out of things.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is a great punch in the face. Like, wake up. That's it right there. That's it.
How about you? What do you tell 25-year-old Chris?
Along the same lines, just be like, stay the course, man. Like, it's funny because it's like, oh, you're almost there. You're not, but you are. Like, you just stay the course. Like, everything is working out. Like, you just go big. You just really, like, you'll stop playing small. I would probably, a lot of that, like, you're playing too small. Like, you're playing too small.
Have you ever seen that list of, like, people's biggest regrets?
No.
Not staying in touch with friends and such, not allowing themselves to enjoy themselves, worrying too much, and jumping and taking risks and opportunities that were presented to them, but they just didn't allow themselves to go for it.
Wow. Holding themselves back.
Those are the ones I can remember. Yeah, and they were like, like not allowing yourself to do. And I'm like, I can't imagine. But anyway, we're all guilty of it, right? Like,
yeah. It's the self-doubt. It's the self-doubt that, starts to speak, and you're like, oh, shit.
And it's funny.
Talk yourself out of it.
My son will be like, okay, there's monsters, there's this and that. And I say, like, unequivocally, like, there's no monsters. There's no ghosts. It is nothing to be afraid of. Like it's literally just like for entertainment. And I'm like, I'm talking to him, but I should be taking my own advice in that anything that I fear won't work. Like most of the time, your concerns don't come true. Like your deepest concerns don't come true. And I'm like, fear really isn't a real thing.
Yeah, that's right. It's yeah.
Goes out of stuff like
all the time. Like without people, I used to be good at talking myself out of things to the point where I didn't know I was doing that, and it comes across as like worry. So, well, I have a right, I should be worried. It's better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, absolutely, it's better to be safe than sorry.
right.
But careful you're not talking yourself out of the opportunity that is presented to yourself. It's that fear of success. It's the
that too. Yes, right. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown, fear of But fear is like it's really non-existent, and we got to stop talking ourselves out of it.
Really, it should be you should fear what you know, because the unknown is probably the thing that's going to save you from what it is you think you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You start getting, I know that. Oh, I know. It's like, well, do you? It's like, I know that. Well, now you're complacent.
Yeah, that's enough to hold us back from even trying to find out.
Exactly. It's like, how well do you know yourself?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, most people don't. Most people don't take that time to really dig deep and get to know themselves.
Right.
So it's like, well, you should probably be afraid of that. That's something to be afraid of, because you'll never know who you are in your lifespan, in your lifetime. You're just walking around with a stranger. Look at existence. It's like, who are you?
Very good. Amazing. Incredible. Very insightful thought. Very introspective tonight. And hopefully we've shared some stories that have entertained you and infotained you along the way.
Yes, indeed. With my beautiful co-host, the lovely, the entertaining, irreverent, hilarious, insightful, Mr. Neil Quinto. Oh.
Mr. Wonderful, the elegant, the eloquent, the sought after, the brilliant mind, the maniac, the brainiac, Christopher Bernard. Incredible conversations today. Thank you for watching.
So good.
On video, on YouTube.
Thank you.
On social, iTunes, Stitcher. Just share us with your friends. Hopefully you enjoyed these segments, and it's our pleasure coming back to you and sharing. I mean,
yes.
What more?
Thank you for your attention, for listening. What more can you ask for?
Right. Have this platform, this medium, to reach out and hit people
and share these ideas is amazing.
Friends, families alike, and new friends, which is the aim, really, to spread the good word and to have just. I feel like these are uncommon conversations that people either are not comfortable having or refuse to have, and hopefully by listening to these thoughts, they become your reality, and give you the confidence to be unreasonable, dream big, not be afraid, and live a life that you can be proud of and have one that's worth living. Right?
That's right. Oh my gosh! Because like you said, the most important thing should be the thing that's most important to you. And if that's your life,
you need to figure what that is.
You got to figure out what that is. And if it's your own life, there's no cavalry coming. It should be your own life, really, because there is no cavalry coming.
And that's the point, is what's important is what you make important. And unfortunately, I think when you don't control your own thoughts, your own minds, your own material coming in, we look to others for what's important. And that's not consistent with your values, which probably it isn't. You're not going to be happy with the person that you are. And I think that's where struggle comes from, is that you look, it's so easy to imitate and look and try to go for something. But if you don't reach it because it's not truly yours or what you want, you set yourself up for disappointment. So be true to yourself. I mean, I would add that too. And enough sage advice, but it's time to just kick ass and go for it. Like Stallone says. Stallone.
Hello.
I would.
Adrian.
Can you imagine if it's like
I know.
that guy in his life achievements and his career, which is
I know. Saying go big. Oh my gosh.
gosh,
It's beautiful advice, though. It's like, oh,
would not.
what's possible? I know. I wouldn't know. Beautiful.
Yes. All right. That's our challenge to you, to each other, to live the best possible life.
Yes, live big.
We're here.
Stop playing small. Don't play small.
Right. We're here anyways. You might as
That's
well
right.
make the best and the most of it. So
That's right.
salute you. We love you. Podcast and
Thank you.
show. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Take care. Beautiful.